right, what's going on, guys? Today is a very deep one. Lessons learned from my grandfather, Amos McDaniel. You know, I never saw my grandparents fight, ever. I never saw them yell at each other. I never heard a crossword, nothing. They just loved each other. My grandfather died when he was 80. Aunt Bunny, as we used to call my grandmother, she lived to be 106. And she was full of energy, spite, and fire. I remember one summer I was down there, and Aunt Bunny wanted a new Cadillac. And this is how the conversation went. He said, "Baby, we can't do it this year. Give me a little time, but we should be in a position to do it next year." So time goes by. Then one day I'm going down there, and in the garage is a brand new Cadillac. What did I learn from my grandfather? Number one, keep your word. He never lied to my grandmother. He said he was going to do it. He did it. And they had a loving, peaceful, kind relationship. No yelling, no screaming, none of that stuff. And I even think when they were young, still, none of that stuff went down. But here's the thing. With defensive dating and relationships being so violent, so rough, so unloving, so unkind, there's this show on YouTube where these women come up, and I've seen more than one woman say the same thing. My husband will not claim me in public. He will not claim me as his wife. That means this man married someone he didn't want to be with. This is a common issue. Men aligning themselves with women they really don't want because that's the only woman they can get. It is sad. It is really, really sad that if these men would embody themselves, work harder, and place themselves in a position, they can get the woman they wanted. But they don't want to do that because they're lazy. Just so lazy. And one of the things I learned from my grandfather was be honorable and have duty. When he died, literally people came out of town. I mean, there were so many people at the funeral, it was wild. But he was a good man. But today's men are so preoccupied with not getting hurt, not losing money, not being damaged, that they literally push love out the window. Everybody has met someone that would make a good, loving partner. Everyone. I've had many girlfriends that would have been wives if I wanted them to be wives. I just wasn't there in that space. But everyone has met someone that would make a good wife, good husband. But why are people having these troubles? Number one, lack of alignment. Someone asked me on this channel, how did I know that Tressie was the one out of dating all these other women, right? It was simple. It was alignment. We're very, very much compatible and we're very much in the same space. Very much so. I felt her energy the first night I met her. And then the next day I made a commitment. I said, I'm going to give this woman the best of me. And this is kind of like another video. I don't know when it's going to drop because I hadn't decided. But I act like her husband, even though I'm not her husband. I'm responsible. I told her I'm responsible for you. That was a true story. I told her I was responsible for you. I'll look out for her. I protect her. If she has a need, I'll go ahead and handle it. How can you become a husband in the scheme of things if you don't know what the behavior of a husband looks like? Same thing for wife. I've literally heard all kinds of stuff like, don't give him no pussy for 90 days. Don't act like a wife before he makes you a wife. I think that's bad advice. If you're in a loving, kind relationship with a man or woman, you should treat them well. You should treat them very well. And this is something else I've noticed. When you go out in public and you see couples together, you can tell if they're happy. One of the things I love to see are old happy couples. They're sitting at the bar. I met some people last night at the fish market. Older couple, full of hoot. They've been married 39 years. They're laughing, they're loving and enjoying each other. Just love that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. How do you get from where you are to that? Number one, present the best version of yourself. What exactly is that, Mr. Glendon? Great question. Number one, radical honesty. You never lie to your partner about anything, even if it may make them feel uncomfortable. This is how trust is built. Being radically honest, talking about stuff. There was Tracy and I had a disagreement. It wasn't a fight. There was no yelling and screaming. And I said, and she asked me, "Are you angry?" I said, "Yeah, I'm angry." Because at the time I was angry. I didn't yell, I didn't scream, I didn't call her outside her name. And I took her home and dropped her off, and she huffed out the car and everything. Then next day she's like, "You still mad?" We need to have a talk. We need to work this out. So we worked it out. We had a conversation, and then things got much, much better. Because even when you love and care with someone, there's the getting to know phase. And one of the things I did not know was how hard she worked with her family. And a lot of times I would get her, she'd be tired, exhausted. I didn't know that. And then, she was telling me, it's like, this is what goes on, and this is, and I said, oh, okay, now that makes sense. But I didn't know that. And you didn't tell me that. And we had this conversation. It's like, you got to tell me stuff. Because, she had a habit of telling me stuff like last minute. It's like, right now, I need help. I'm like, kind of give me a little warning. Now, we're much better about that. She doesn't drop that stuff on me like she did. Because one of the things that she has figured out is I'm extremely dependable. There's nothing that she's asked of me that I couldn't do. And I did. Now I was like, boom, here it is. And I'm looking back at my dating history, and I'm beginning to see why a lot of these women didn't want to leave. We had gotten to a point where maybe I fell out of favor or something, because I was in a different mode. I was not in a husband-seeking mode. I was in a good boyfriend mode, but I wasn't trying to be someone's husband. I wasn't trying to go that far. Tracy, I'm going that far. And the difference is alignment. I will say I've had a lot of really good girlfriends. Great sex, no fights, no drama. And they actually came and stood up and were good girlfriends. And each one of those women when they had a problem, I helped them out. Now, how did I help them out? Let's go back to the beginning. I started focusing on my economics years ago. I was in a position to help a woman out long before I became rich. Long before I became rich. You know when I got in that position? When I started paying cash for cars. I've not had a car note. I explained the car note I had. I had a car note for 4 months. When I bought that Porsche and came in on a Saturday, the only way I could take it out to the dealership was to finance it, right? And I really wanted to drive my Porsche. And I asked them, I was like, how, I could pay this loan off tomorrow. And they said, no, give it 4 or 5 months before you pay it off. And I waited 4 months and I paid it off. My first payment to Porsche was $90,000. That was the last car loan situation I had. And it was contrived because when the car came in. But I made myself economically viable a long, long time ago. I remember one time this girl, and I didn't want to see this information. I'll talk about that. I had left my bank account open on my computer, and she was in my office, and she looked, and the words that came out of her mouth, "You could easily pay off my student loans." You didn't see nothing. That was a mistake. You didn't see nothing. And I just closed the screen and walked off because I wasn't paying her student loans. Now, to compare and contrast that relationship with my relationship with Tracy, I tell Tracy everything. Today, I made $9,000. And I picked up and said, guess what happened today? She said, what? I said, I made $9,000. I have never been this open about making money with a woman ever. You want to know why I'm open about making money with Tressie? Because I trust her. I feel safe with her. I feel secure with her. Makes a huge, huge difference. I don't have this fear that she's going to take me for my money and all this. It doesn't exist because we've spent so much time together. I've really got a good appreciation of who she is as a person. So one of the things that happens is going back to radical honesty. Radical honesty isn't just like saying, well, this is how I feel. Radical honesty is everything. Everything. Currently, I have a lawsuit going on, and I told her all the details of that. And honestly, I'm probably going to get $500,000 to $750,000, if not more. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited because I'm about to get paid, right? But one of the things is that, once again, acting like a husband. What does a husband do? Like, she recently was not feeling well. It's that time of the month for her, and apparently the first few days are horrible. And I saw her, and she was walking funny, and it was like, oh, are you okay? And now my mind thought, okay, because I got to get a new health insurance policy. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm putting her on the health insurance policy. Yeah, that's what a husband would do. You would not be married and like, well, I can get in health insurance for my job, but I'm going to leave you. What kind of shit is that? So when I get a new health insurance policy, I'm putting her on that. These are husband duties: provide, protect, take care. And literally, when I say this stuff, a lot of men just like, shoo, he ain't talking to me. I ain't trying to do all that. Fuck that. And that's why your dating life sucks, because you keep saying fuck that to doing decent, kind, worthy things for your woman. And you guess what? Your dating life's going to continue to suck as long as you keep sucking in that area. For real. Or as they say in Louisiana, for true, for true.